welcome in. This is not another sports show.
It's the sports show.
And I'm Brian DiNatalia.
And I'm Cujo.
And it's officially week 2.
Yeah, we got week 1 all the way done. Now all these teams have played, outside of a couple that had the random week 1 bye, to rest up for the rest of the year.
Yeah, you gotta start them early with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you don't want anyone to get hurt,
No,
right?
no.
Gotta pace yourself.
I mean, how did you feel about this week?
This week was great.
Yeah, week 1 in the books?
Yeah, there was a lot. There were a lot of good things, a lot of not so great things I saw, but
yeah,
it was a lot of fun.
I mean, we're here again. I mean,
Again?
come on. You got to learn how to finish out a game.
Oh my God.
LSU.
Multiple teams had this issue,
Oh
though.
my
It's not
God.
just LSU.
Brian Kelly said it right. I mean, he's got to be a better coach.
Hey, I told you
He has
this
gotta
might
be
have
a
been a
better
trend.
coach.
This is a trend now. Like
3
before you were
times.
like, no,
0-3 in week 1s for Brian Kelly. for
that was
LSU.
abysmal.
I mean, it's bad.
You got LSU receivers shotgunning cornerbacks after they
Yeah,
scored,
you can't be shotgun blasting corners. I mean, that's an automatic penalty.
and then there was I think a hip thrusting penalty too.
Yeah.
Like I think he hit 3 of them.
I
Got
mean,
15 yards. That's a lack
two
of
is
discipline.
fine.
2 is fine.
3.
Throw it out there. I mean,
you can't do that.
come on.
But I mean, give it to USC. That was a great 2-minute drill. But
I even did what you said. I even followed
guys,
this man.
look.
At half, it was -2.5. It was a tight
Guys.
game, -2.5. I was like, fine, I'll tell LSU. He feels great about it.
here's the thing.
Terrible.
Apparently, Mizzou's Blake, whatever his name is, Blake, the defensive coordinator that came from Mizzou. Yeah, apparently he sucks because Mizzou, he left. Mizzou went 51-0.
Yeah,
Just straight
Mizzou
up on Murray
lockdown
State.
defense. Crushed Murray
LSU,
State.
they can't stop anybody.
I mean, yeah, that was a clinical drive by USC.
Yes. And really all game, like it started off like first quarter, second quarter, like I was like, oh no, like the defense still is terrible.
the quarterback looked really good for USC.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, so did LSU.
So is Caleb Williams really not that good? Because he kind of just fit right back in. I mean,
They didn't need Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
I think that's what we learned.
Yeah.
So the Bears may
who
not
knows?
have
I
that
mean,
guy.
Guys, listen out because we're also releasing a pro NFL.
That starts this week
show
too. We
that
get
starts-
2 times you get to listen to us now.
Wow. If
Twice.
I know you guys weren't asking for this show, but
But
you're
you
getting
got
2
it.
shows. So, but yeah, I mean, it was an exciting week. I didn't get to see any of it. I was in Argentina,
Argentina?
as my local friends say. I was working literally all weekend.
I was working too. I had
I
48 straight hours of college football I was watching.
I had 41 straight hours, no sleep working. So
Same difference. I was putting in that work too.
And
so
then
this
I watched
cast could
all the
be
highlights on the plane, and well, not really on the plane, on the in the airports in my 26 and a half hours of travel time on the way back. So
You had a layover in Atlanta, right?
I did.
I mean, that's a good spot to start. You know what game was in Atlanta?
What game was that?
Oh, that was Georgia putting
Oh.
the pounding
we
on
called that
Clemson.
one, folks.
Yeah, we told you.
The dogs, they're barking.
Oh my God, that's 40 straight regular season wins now for the Dogs.
Yeah.
And that game was not close. They just railroaded Clemson.
And are we surprised?
No, not at all. Dabo's not that good. I think his time's. I think it's on the clock.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
might be one of the last years or two for Dabo at Clemson.
I mean, you got to embrace and you adapt to what happens, and he's not doing that with the transfer portal.
nope.
He
And you
thinks-
saw the difference. I mean, Georgia comes out. They didn't even have ETN this week.
Yeah.
That didn't come out till later that he wasn't going to play. They didn't need him.
No.
I mean, Georgia controlled the line of scrimmage. Klubnik looked lost. He couldn't see anything all day. We're not surprised. We're not
No,
huge
I was gonna
Klubnik
say.
people. But that was just an embarrassment if you're a Clemson fan.
Yeah. I mean, Georgia fans, I don't think were really,
I don't think they were that worried.
no.
I mean, it was a 13.5. Like, we bet the 13.5,
Yeah.
so we got one, but like that line ended up moving down to like 12,
Yeah.
which was clearly the wrong direction. So that big money that came in on Clemson, that was a waste. Thank you for your donation.
Thank you for that. Yeah. And then moving down the list, I mean, there was a few big games under the slate that, we didn't hit all of them.
No, the betting buffet though, 3 and 2.
Hey, you still made money. You followed us.
You made
some
money. That's all we said we wanted to do, especially week
Right,
one. We
that's
were
all-
like,
yeah.
500 was the goal.
You don't have any data.
We won 60%.
Yeah.
And damn it, we should have won 4. Minnesota's kicker.
Oh, here we go, folks.
Minnesota's kicker. Twice.
Okay.
Misses from 27, clanks it. Then he has a game winner on the line, 47 yards. This dude pushes it. And here's the issue. This dude pushed his first miss to the right. And then his field goal that went ahead, that was like a 35-yarder. It was on the right side. Like, it barely snuck in on the right. They were in the middle of the field. They run a handoff to the right to move to the right hash, and he misses it outside right. Why would you not stay on the left or stay middle? If it's middle, that's where he's kicking from. He makes it. Terrible. We should have been 4-1. That was absolutely frustrating.
I mean,
but other than that, it was great.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
I mean,
I'm not mad about that.
I'm
mad for you guys.
Right. Yeah.
We shouldn't have lost that. It was a good read. It was the right read.
It was.
I mean, they lost 19-17. If you bet that line, though, if you got it later in the week, it did get to 2, so you might have got a push.
Right.
But we should got an outright win. North Carolina's kicker, all of a sudden, was like Justin Tucker. He was 4 for 4 automatic.
Dude's money.
He was pure money. We didn't get that from Minnesota's kicker.
Oh.
So that was one of the losses. The other loss, the Notre Dame A&M
We kind of misread that one a little bit, but, it's hard to tell week one what you're going to get.
It was tied going into the fourth. I mean, it was a good game. It was back
and
forth.
It could have gone.
It was a defensive grind for both teams. Both teams were kind of conservative with the way they ran it, but, eventually Notre Dame started controlling the offensive line. Like, their line was getting the push. They were getting leverage, started to run the ball, kind of wear down A&M.
Yeah.
And then, A&M's quarterback, Connor Weigman, I am out on.
No?
I'm done.
You were all in last week.
He looked bad. His timing, his accuracy, it was terrible. He was out of sync all game.
All right. Who looks worse? Weigman or Klubnik?
Oh, Weigman.
Yeah?
Weigman's at home.
Yeah.
I mean, Klubnik's on the road, so
true.
And Georgia is a top tier defense. A&M's got a really good defense too. Notre Dame has obviously a really good defense, but dude, you're at home. Yeah. 107,000 fans were at that game. 80,000 of them were at least A&M fans.
And a ton of followers betting on
this game.
And tell your friends, guys. Tell your friends, subscribers. We want to keep doing this, and we want to,
It was frustrating. Riley Leonard, they kind of eased in.
Yeah.
He didn't do a lot, but he didn't lose them the game either. He did what he needed to do to get Notre Dame really their hardest game on the schedule up until the end at USC.
Yeah, they have a pretty soft schedule this year.
Congratulations, Notre Dame fans. You are now going to the college playoff because the rest of your schedule is a joke.
Yeah.
They play USC at the end. That's it. Okay, if they lose that one,
they're
in. Yeah. So congratulations as long as you just don't blow it.
Classic Notre Dame.
Yeah, really great scheduling. Yeah. So, big win for Notre Dame.
Yeah, big win, big schedule, big win on the schedule. But yeah, I mean, we talked about some bad quarterbacks. Is there any good quarterbacks?
There was a really good quarterback, Cam Ward.
He's the real deal, guys.
Cam Ward, that dude is him. He is him. He came in to the swamp. He's throwing no looks left and right, throwing against his body, and he was just toying with Florida. This game got out of hand pretty quickly.
The line was 2.5. Yeah. They won 41-7.
It was unreal. And I mean,
it was
Xavier Restrepo, all ACC guy, going to be an all ACC receiver again. That dude is slippery. He is a technician route running. He was great. And Cam Ward just throws for 385, 3 TDs. His interception was a bad one. He threw trying to get too cocky across the body. Came back and he just murdered them. It was unreal.
And then I finished that out with, the great, extra bonus game in Northwestern, Miami of Ohio.
Game, I told you that was going to be money. I told you Northwestern's a better team than Miami of Ohio.
There
13-6.
Yeah.
This is not a sexy game. I told you it wasn't a sexy game, but it was an effective game. Miami of Ohio at no point was really even close to scoring a touchdown here against Northwestern. And honestly, Northwestern should have had about 20 to 27 points. They fumbled at the 1. They turned it over twice on fumbles. They had 1 fumble lost all last year. So they just have to clean up some things, but Northwestern looked good. They have Duke this week. The stadium on the riverfront's really cool.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little wind coming in.
Yeah.
Both kickers kicked well.
It is fun to watch those games. I'm not
you're
gonna
in
lie.
Chicago, so
it
it was
just
like,
feels like a nice
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon game.
They called it like a postcard-looking stadium because you have the water in the background. It was great.
a little Windy City action.
Yeah, it cashed, so told you it was straight cash. That one I wasn't worrying about.
It was 7 as opposed to 3, which is the line, but
and really Northwestern dominated.
Really
that game
a shootout.
Should have been like 20-6.
A dominant 13-6 win.
That's that Northwestern defense though.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real.
That's true. What do you expect?
This is the type of Northwestern game they're going to win.
It's true.
What else you got from week 1? What were you impressed with or not impressed
I gotta
with
say,
from the airport?
You know what? I got something to say actually.
Oh, you got something to say?
Yeah.
Is this a new segment?
Let's make it a new segment.
That's just what it is. That's just what it is.
All right, put 60 seconds on the clock.
Give me a timer.
That's just what it is.
All right, guys. So, Sac State let us down together, both me and you. They let us down because, look, they were winning early in the game. They were up 2 scores to start. They went into the 4th quarter leading, guys. I was telling you, Sac State all the way. But it did not finish that way at all. 21 straight points by San Jose State in the 4th quarter. Are you freaking kidding me? What do I got? How much time do I got?
Oh, you got 35
Okay,
seconds.
I got 35, so I got time. So the quarterback, what was this guy's name again? I should know this because I'm a big Sac State guy. Oh yeah, Bennett. Terrible. Multiple interceptions. Could not hold on. Could not throw. It was all shaky passes, guys. It was all shaky passes. But you know what my boy is? Tao Tolliver. 22 carries, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This guy was averaging like 5 yards a carry or something like that. They should have easily won this one. The win probability was was in their favor most of the game, and then just completely fumbled it. Bullshit. Sorry about that, guys. That's on me. Next week we'll get it. We'll get a new one.
That was really good. That was a really passionate speech I've seen there.
I was the Hornets are my team.
We thought, they were holding pretty well, and then turnovers.
Yeah.
Turnovers.
Prayers out to Michael Johnson as well. Took a ambulance ride.
Yeah, he took a nasty hit. He did not get low enough.
I thought maybe that was going to change things, but you know what they did instead? They just decided, we'll just take the ball off that fumble and score off it, which is just a completely rude thing to do.
Yeah, San Jose State, though, they're trying to win. They got a line to cover too.
They are, and the Spartans are really looking pretty decent this year. Do you have anything to say? I think you've already kind of ranted a little bit this episode already.
I have.
You're pretty passionate about this week 1 in general, but let's just see. You have another 60 seconds. I can put it on the board for you.
Oh yeah, I got stuff to say.
All right, so give me a 3, 2, 1, and go.
All right, so we're going to start. Obviously, I already talked about the Minnesota kicker, how he absolutely annihilated us. He killed our betting buffet. We were going to start out with a perfect appetizer. Game was in hand. Nice little 47-yard field goal. You're at home. Should be easy. Nah, we miss it. What a joke. Other parts, though. Texas A&M, we already kind of talked about this. You have got to move the ball at home. What are we doing? Connor Weigman is a joke. They need to bring in a new quarterback. Other things I got to say. Georgia Tech goes to 2-0. Covered against Georgia State. 2-0 against the spread so far. Number 1 team in the ACC. I think Georgia Tech might hit 6 or 7 wins this year. I think we're looking at possible bowl eligibility, which is great for the brand. Other thing I got to say is Michigan is overrated.
Whoa.
Overrated. That win 30-10 was not that great.
Wow. That's a bold statement, but not really that bold.
No, if you watch the game, they were not impressive whatsoever.
So, your thoughts on the Minnesota kicker seem to be pretty...
I hope he stubs his toe.
Oh.
Not anything crazy.
Yeah, we don't...
We don't want him to get hurt.
Right. But
stubbing his toe seems...
We do want him to get hurt, just not
he let down the whole state of Minnesota.
Yeah.
PJ Fleck had only lost 2 games in the last 4 years when they took a lead heading into the 4th quarter. And you know what happened? They blew it. That's on him. That's on the kicker.
That you don't like to see.
College kickers are the worst. Do not rely on college kickers.
They are the best, too.
North Carolina's is the best. 4 for 4,
baby.
On the road. No misses. Absolutely clutch.
Well, I think that takes us into this week's betting buffet. We kind of went over last week's, and
we're gonna eat again this week.
Yeah, what do
we
you
got?
got?
A variety of games this week. We're not just doing spreads. We're doing over unders this week.
Oh,
Let's start with the first one that is a regular spread. That is Cal going to Auburn. Auburn currently sits as a 13-point favorite. I am hammering this before this number gets to 14. I think it might have moved to 13.5. Auburn hung 73 on Alabama A&M. Cal beat UC Davis last week, 31-13. Jay Knott's the starting running back for Cal. He was not effective against the UC Davis team. He was averaging 3.5 yards per carry. That does not bode well. Auburn's also looking to kind of get that bounce back from last year. They beat Cal last year, but it was 14-10. It was an ugly game. I think Auburn is going to roll here. So give me Auburn minus the 13.
All right. You heard it here, folks. That's your appetizer. Now, moving on to the second course.
Second course. This is Boise State at Oregon.
These numbers, these running back numbers last week.
There were some crazy numbers, and that starts with Boise State's running back, Ashton Gente. If you didn't watch him last year, he was this good last year.
267 yards and 6 tutties.
On 20 carries. That's
efficiency.
That's good. You're not
had some good Madden days before, but I mean that's
even on rookie on Madden,
tough.
that's impressive.
Yeah, that's impressive.
With that being said, though, I have Oregon at minus 18, and I'm taking this. I think this is a game for Oregon to kind of get back.
You think Boise State's gonna be riding high after that win, a little hangover?
The problem is they beat Georgia Southern. They were supposed to beat Georgia Southern.
Right.
Like, it shouldn't have been this close of a game, and you gave up 45 to Georgia Southern. 56-45. If you gave up that to them, what do you think Dylan Gabriel and them are going to do coming in?
Right.
Now, I know Oregon just barely beat Idaho. That was a fluke. They had a lot of offense. They were efficient. They just couldn't score.
Here's the thing. Here's a question for you I got. So after we've seen only 1 week so far in this Oregon offense, but we're both Broncos fans. You probably all know that if you know us, which most of you do at this point. How good is Gabriel compared to Bo Nix, and how is that going to affect this Oregon team this year? Because a lot of people have Gabriel as like this Heisman favorite guy. I just don't see it.
Yeah, so I mean, Gabriel obviously was really, really good last year at Oklahoma. Coming over to Oregon, like the expectations are through the roof. We saw what Bo Nix did in the offense last year for Oregon. They were able to move the ball up and down the field, and you really thought against the Idaho team first week they should have been scoring 50. I mean, all the other top 10 teams were hammering numbers. They were putting up 50, 60, 70 points, and Oregon's sitting here not doing that. A 24-10 or 24-14 game.
I mean, he did 380 for 49 attempts.
They moved the ball. They just didn't score. So that's kind of the discrepancy. So that's really why I'm huge on Oregon this week. I think this is going to be that statement game of like, listen, we're that team. Don't get it misconstrued. That was 1 week.
But here's a take for you.
Oh.
All these Boomer Sooner quarterbacks that are pretty damn good on their college, in their college careers. You got your, Caleb Williams transfers. He does fine with USC. Doesn't do great, Then you've got
Spencer Rattler. Goes to South
Carolina. What happens there? Then you've got Baker Mayfield, goes to the NFL. It's actually pretty decent, but maybe more so the Browns' fault. But I'm just saying, maybe it's just Oklahoma. Maybe it's not as much of the quarterback and as much, maybe some Boomer Sooner magic or something.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
I still think this is that get back spot though.
Okay.
I think this minus 18 for Oregon, I think this should be a 3 touchdown game.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if you start seeing heavy money coming in later in the week.
And
this getting up to 20,
further.
20 and a half, 21. Like I said, I mean, Ashton Gente ran for 267 against Georgia Southern. That's not going to do it against Oregon's front, though. He's not going to be able to have that success. They're going to sell out. They're going to make them throw the ball. And the other thing is, can they really keep pace scoring with Oregon? Because Oregon's going to come out pissed. I mean, you're this team that you're supposed to be a title favorite. You're trying to make a statement, and you come out against Idaho.
Yeah.
You can't put points on the board. That's not going to last. I think they're going to click, and I think they're going to send a message this week against Boise, who's a quality team.
Yeah.
But I think
this
is a statement game more than anything.
Right.
So I like the juice coming in with Oregon.
Man, a lot of Northwest games
Yeah,
on their
like the
slate
West
early.
Coast.
They like a lot of Northwestern.
Well, yeah, before they have to go to that Big Ten that's all the way in the middle of the country that
You
they
ever
got to
realize
travel to.
that Northwestern isn't really that Northwest? Why would that? Why
it's
you would
more
think
North
that-
Central?
Yeah, you would think Northwestern would be in like Seattle or something.
You're gonna go pitch that to them, and be like, hey, maybe we
You
should
guys
rebrand.
I think you guys should relocate.
Yeah, make it fair.
Yeah. But what else you got? What's the next course that we got here?
Oh, we got a Friday game. This
We'll
is
dabble in.
a BYU SMU.
I love the Friday games. Oh, you think little Cougars gonna run up on them Stangs?
Nah, I think we're a Sting Nation.
Oh, yeah, you were big on the Stangs in week 0.
Yeah, and they were terrible. They looked bad against Nevada. They got back this week. They got the offense going. They hung up like 59. The offense started to click. BYU had an easy game against Southern Illinois. They took care of business, but SMU's minus 12 right now. I think SMU is going to kind of keep building on that momentum, show like, hey, we're a quality ACC team. BYU's not a very good team. They're okay, but this was more just a statement win for SMU that they need to show that they're ready to take a step up in class. And I'm not saying BYU is like the biggest step up in class, but
I mean,
it's better than Nevada.
It's more prime time,
It's better than last week. So like, I think SMU's offense here is just going to keep rallying. I don't know if BYU can score enough to stay in this game.
Get those Stangs running.
Yeah, once the Stings are out, it's hard to control them. So
Right.
I'm a SMU guy this week.
All right, roll SMU
Roll SMU.
with the minus 12 action.
Yeah, I think it might have moved already down to minus 11, which I would
So
double
it's
down on.
Still, yeah.
It's moving. BYU. There's some BYU money coming in early, but I'm SMU
not
Nation.
worried. SMU Nation.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything for us?
Oh, like my sexy Northwestern picks?
Yeah.
I got some. I got a little something here.
Yeah?
We got UMass versus Toledo.
I love it.
This is a Saturday game.
You love to see a little Toledo action.
Yeah, a little rocket.
It's not college football Saturday without a Toledo
game in
Yeah.
UMass. So
Yeah.
got a lot of UMass fans out there. I know.
Yeah.
This is an over 51. This, I think, is one of those games that's just going to score. Toledo themselves is a very efficient offense. They're a high-octane, high-paced team. Last week, they just scored 49 themselves against Duquesne. That total ended up 49-10, so that had 59. Basically, Toledo can cover this number by themselves on the over. UMass lost 28-14 last week against Eastern Michigan.
That hurts.
All we need here is if UMass can get them 14 points, I think Toledo is going to run 40 on them themselves. So I think the over 51, this game should probably be about 60.
Yeah.
Like, I think this game's like a, 40-14, like at worst, like where we're covering by a field goal.
Is there a chance that UMass has better defense than those Duquesnes?
I don't think so.
No?
No, they gave up 28 to Eastern Michigan.
Oh.
And Toledo is a lot more high octane than Eastern Michigan.
That's fair.
I know we're high on a lot of Eastern Michigan guys.
We are.
But
lot of huge draft class.
yeah, huge draft class.
Broncos are looking to tank this year just so we can pick up some of
XFL
those
guys there.
Eastern. Yeah.
So I love this over. This is a hammer for the over in point score.
Over 51.
Over 51. I think this number should really be about 54. So don't be surprised if this number keeps like moving up and up.
And then how about a little dessert for us?
Oh, a little dessert. We got more points. The more points, the merrier here.
We're hitting overs this week,
We're
guys.
hitting overs. This is Marshall versus Virginia Tech. This game
We don't
is
like defense.
48 and a half.
We
I
do
think
not
this
like
is
defense
easy.
here. We're not about, yes, occasionally you got to go up to the Windy City, watch a couple, 16-3 games or whatever that one was. But, we want overs.
We love
mainly.
overs.
We
And
love
week
overs.
one had a lot of them. There were a lot of points scored. One of those was the Virginia Tech game. They played Vanderbilt and they lost to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is arguably the worst team in the SEC. Virginia Tech was this team that we weren't super high on, but a lot of people are thinking like Virginia Tech's a dark horse to win the ACC. They came out and got punched in the mouth. Vanderbilt beats them 34-27. They moved the ball on Virginia Tech pretty easily. So I'm not going to be surprised here if Marshall, who already hung 45, yes, it was against Stony Brook, but they can move the ball well.
Stony Brooks,
So I think this is like a game that's going to be like a back and forth scoring. I think Virginia Tech's also going to try to send a message. So they're going to try to run the score up. So I think this gets over 48 and a half. I think this is going to be paced at like a 55-point game.
Wow.
So I love the points here. I think that's a really good buffet this week.
Yeah.
I think we can go
There's a lot of
4-1.
samples there. I think a lot of it's going to be pretty tasty. Not a lot that's going to be cold or.
No. Hopefully, we're going to get a 5-star review this week.
Yeah.
Straight 5-0.
But
all
hey,
money.
We're still positive.
We're still positive. That's what we said. We made money last week if you tailed them 3-2.
And I mean, I know we technically lost my Sac State one, but that was
And the LSU mid game. I hammered that. Hopefully, you
that was
didn't.
not official. I told you guys that. I said I was not. Do not bet that one.
Oh, that's weird.
Unofficial.
Go look back at the tape.
We're 3-2.
Also, get the views up.
You know what?
Run the tape
Actually,
back.
Yeah, run that
so
tape
you can do
back
that.
just so you can do that. I just made take that one down so we don't have to see that.
Oh.
But you know what? How about this week's? What do you think?
I mean, I think there's some big games this week. Not as many as last week.
Yeah.
Last week has some really good matchups. There is one game this week that obviously is on everyone's TV.
Yep.
This is the big game. This is Texas at Michigan at
Big
the big
game.
house.
And you just called that Michigan out.
Yeah, Michigan did not look good offensively. This is not really a surprise. We thought they would take
Right.
a step back, but they struggled to move the ball against Fresno. Some of their points came off pick sixes. So take away out of that 30, they just did not look that great.
Was there any futures that you could have taken on Michigan that would have been worth it now looking at week one?
I think the under. I think the under on the season win total because I don't believe this team or to miss the playoffs. I think that would be a good value is Michigan to miss the playoffs.
Yeah. I didn't see there wasn't a lot of talk about it. I'm sure there was like some negativity going into this season for them just with the layover, the hardball leaving, all of that. But it could have been a decent, future to grab.
Yeah.
If any of you got them.
Yeah. I mean, this line's already moved up to Texas -7. I mean, that's a pretty big number when you're going into Michigan to be a full touchdown favorite. But Quinn Ewers, one of your guys you talked about.
One of my guys could have been possible Heisman pick there.
He looked good. He had 3 touchdowns, 260, turned it over one time. Didn't really matter. Texas rolled last week against a quality Colorado State team. Obviously, they're not going to compete to win a title,
Right.
but Colorado State's not a scrub, and
No,
that Texas
they've always been
defense
decent.
shut them down.
Yeah.
So the Texas defense is for real. So I think Michigan's going to have a hell of a time here trying to score points.
I'm pretty high on Texas this year in general.
Yeah, this seems like a year. Even Arch Manning got in on it last week.
Saban's out, Harbaugh's out. I just feel like now is their time.
Yeah, and I think Texas can kind of make that SEC hey, we're here.
Exactly. And they're starting their SEC debut. And I just think that Ewers is just ew, he's the opposite of ew.
He is the opposite. He's disgustingly good.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant.
I'm
yeah.
all about that.
Yeah. And I just think he's going to be fighting off Arch Manning. And
He knows Arch is coming. Everyone wants Arch. He's got the name.
and
He's got the flow.
I think he's just not ever gotten his stardom, his look, but he's always been solid and he's a hard worker and he's knowledgeable about the game. I think if Texas can actually be what I think they can be this year, I do think Heisman is definitely possible still.
Yeah.
I think he's my second behind. I don't remember what I picked last week, but I think I did Ollie Gordon,
Yeah,
and then I
Ollie
picked
Gordon.
as my quarterback. I think he might have been
Ewers.
it. But yeah.
He had a good start. Yeah, like I said, they played well. Michigan just struggled to move the ball. I just don't see how Michigan can win this game if they can't score.
Yeah.
As good as Michigan's defense is, and it is phenomenal, I think Texas is still going to be able to move the ball, though, and put points up. So I have a hard time buying that Michigan can even stay in this game.
Right.
I think it's -7. And I think you might see it creep into the 8s by the end of the week.
Yeah.
And that wouldn't surprise me. I would lean towards Texas. I think Texas is the better value here.
Right.
I just don't see many ways that Michigan wins unless they try to bleed the clock and they can really get a lot of pressure on Ewers and make him make questionable decisions that he has a tendency to do in the past. He gets in ruts where he makes a few bad, dangerous throws. But if he's settled in the pocket, not forcing it, I don't see a way that Michigan wins here.
Another big game we got on the slate is Iowa State at Iowa. Everybody loves that.
This is big for the Iowa over
Yeah.
in wins. And hey, Iowa scored 40 points last week, guys. 40.
What happened?
Iowa scored Caden McNamara, building off the Michigan.
I think I need to go to Argentina more often because I just don't
McNamara
believe this is possible.
scored.
I leave
They threw the
and all
ball.
of a sudden it's 40 points. I don't buy it.
I know.
I don't think it happened.
They did. Granted, it's against Illinois State. I don't care. This is an Oregon team that had shown they couldn't score for years. To put 40, I don't care if it's against a high school team. They need to score.
Yeah,
That's good for the offense.
Get them some high school teams.
Maybe
You
it
need
was
to
the
build
head
confidence.
coach. Maybe it was the head coach. The head coach was
True.
out last week with
It's
an
true.
infringement for
Yeah.
recruiting violations.
Turns
Maybe
out.
he's the issue.
Could be.
So Iowa looked good defensively like they always do. Now they can score. I wasn't impressed with what I saw from Iowa State this past week against North Dakota.
But
they won 21-3.
It's one of those where it
Wasn't
doesn't.
convincing.
It's not, but it really you can throw everything out the window for this matchup.
Oh yeah, the battle for Iowa.
Yeah.
It's a big rivalry game.
Yeah, I've known a few people who go up there every year, and it honestly can be a toss up a lot of years. Even though, Iowa recently has just been
Yeah,
the money team, but
I was the team that's been winning this rivalry a lot
Yeah.
lately, and I think being at Iowa, I think this bodes well for them. They get this win. I feel really good about our over on Iowa and our futures, like the win total. I think
Yeah.
Bess is move in the right
And
direction.
what was that?
That was over 8.
Yeah.
8.5. So
I
we were
feel
looking
good.
for 9 wins.
Not quite as good as the Georgia Tech over 4.5.
No.
As they're sitting 2-0 currently.
2-0.
As
and
we are
favored
the
this week.
non-official Georgia Tech podcast,
Correct.
but we're not official.
Go Tech.
Yeah.
Go Jackets.
Yeah. Go Bees. Bees buzz.
This is why the Hornets lost. She refused to
That's
acknowledge
true.
the correct
It was
flying
really
insect.
bad mojo.
Yeah.
Um,
So yeah, I got Iowa. I think it's a 2.5
Yeah.
point game right now is the spread. It was 3. Now it's down to 2.5. I think that's value with Iowa. That was one of the ones I was like on the border of putting on the betting buffet, but
yeah.
I didn't want to put another, barn burner on there. So I went for over in points instead.
I say do it. Let the people know.
If I'm betting this, which I probably will later in the week.
So he's going to bet
I'm
this
taking
one, guys.
Iowa.
There's a little bonus dessert for you.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I ended up placing like 17 bets this weekend.
Yeah.
I did a lot of live action, couple other games.
I mean, it's kind of sad that he said he's 3-2 for us, but
like-
for him, he was what?
like 12-5.
I don't know if I buy that.
I mean, you can
Let's-
look at my receipts.
Yeah, we need to see the
Throw
receipts.
them on the screen
Yeah,
if we
can
really want.
play them right here.
It's gonna take a minute to scroll though.
Yeah, we're not cancel that. Yeah, we don't want that.
But yeah, I think Iowa's the pick here. I think they win by at least a field goal. I
Okay.
think it's more like a touchdown.
Another big one I see is the Tennessee at NC State game, 15 versus 24 there.
Yeah, this game I think is a big game, obviously, for NC State. They got taken to the wire basically with Western Carolina on Thursday.
Yeah.
They were not very good. The box score is a little misleading. Like for Waters, their running back, he had like 120 yards, like on 20-something carries. One of those was a 50-yard touchdown run at the end.
Hey.
So if you take that out, like when you actually look at it,
Yeah, it's
those anomalies, like they did not run the ball effectively. And Western Carolina actually did. Western Carolina averaged over 6 yards a carry against this North Carolina State front. So
I mean, I just think that takes us into a new episode of Who's That? Who's This? Who's That?
oh, a new one? Again?
Let's roll it.
Let's go.
Who's this? Who's that? Yeah. Who's this? Who's that?
Yeah, so this week we're going to feature the Western Carolina Catamounts who took NC State to the wire last week in a 38-21 loss. But, we liked what we saw. We liked what we saw out of, who's their quarterback there? Cole Gonzalez. We really liked, no, he's the running back, guys. He's the running back. He's the one who got 6 carries for 75 yards. So big game for Cole there. And then at receiving, they had 5 receptions for 126 yards from Sincere Brown.
Oh, sincerely, Brown.
Sincerely 126 yards. But they're facing off with the Campbell Fighting Camels, who I'm sure you guys all follow.
Is their mascot just like a cigarette pack?
It just appears to be a sprinting camel, which is an amazing logo. You guys should search it because it actually
It will
is,
become a
it is-
Campbell podcast.
It is an amazing logo.
Fight camel fight.
And they had a decent game against Liberty last week. Of course, you know, they were the scheduled loss against Liberty.
That's Liberty's whole schedule is that.
Yeah.
They have nobody.
Typically, yeah. But you know what? Look at this. We had Mark Biggins is their running back. Mark Biggins, guys. Does that guy sound like he can just run through people? Because he can. He had 8 carries for 81 yards and a tutty. This game, let's hit the over. There is no currently any betting lines or facts on this game as far as any lines or anything, but if those do appear, let's hit that over. We don't even need to see what it is.
We're just gonna hit it.
We're hitting it though.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Biggins and Brown, B&B,
Yeah.
receiving and running back combo.
It's
One of the
gonna
best
be-
ones in Camel history.
I mean, well, Brown is on the Catamounts, but you know, either way, you know, it's gonna be.
No, Sincere Brown's a receiver for Campbell.
Yeah. Anyway, like I said, guys.
Brown and Biggins.
Whatever.
B&B action.
Right, a little B&B action. You know, everybody loves it. And I think that's who we're gonna take this week is. No, we're taking the Catamounts.
Oh no, we're not even taking the Camel.
You know, I want to take them fighting camels, and I love the B&B, but no, we're going. I think we like what we saw out of the Catamounts last week, and Western Carolina is gonna roll here.
I agree. I don't think.
No,
the Camels are gonna have a.
I was
fighting
wrong.
chance.
I was wrong with Sac State, but I think for a while there, I had you guys going. Like last week, you guys
To be
were
fair,
like,
at halftime, it looked like all Sac State.
you guys were
and-
like, oh shit, he knows what he's talking
and
about.
he took
like,
a shot to the sack the second
yeah,
half.
the sack was deflated in the fourth quarter. But hey, they went into the fourth quarter with the lead, and all they had to do was be. I think we said the line was like 2.5 or something.
Yeah.
They had the 3-point lead going in the fourth quarter and just deflated.
Got demolished.
Yeah.
I ended up betting that
Unfortunate.
game live.
Oh yeah.
I bet the
How'd
over
that-
in points.
Okay, there you go.
Hey,
Did you
cash.
hit? Yeah.
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 Thanks to San Jose. That one was for Sparta. They moved
For
on.
Sparta.
Yeah. Big
Yeah.
Spartans guy now.
But hey, check out the Fighting Camels. I think you're gonna like what you see.
You get education here.
Yeah.
Big animal show too.
Yeah.
Camels hold a lot of water.
Yeah, and I think next week I might even give you some facts about the school. You know, I think we'll liven this up. Right now, you don't really need any facts about the Fighting Camels.
You just need to
the
know that
fact
they're
the
camels.
The Campbell Fighting Camels, and they've already had 2 decently big names.
How long do you think that took to come up with? Like, then when they're like, all right, we're starting our school. What's a mascot?
Well, we're Campbell, so
do we even know where Campbell is?
Oh,
Like, where
well,
as a university
no,
Campbell
this
actually
is
resides?
in E.J. Whitmire Stadium, which I'm assuming is, Western Carolina.
Campbell is what? It's in North Carolina too?
It might be. So is it a North Carolina game?
It is in North Carolina. Campbell
Wow.
University is in
This
North
is a
Carolina.
huge rival. So, look, honestly, guys, this is a good one. You should get ESPN Plus. Watch this game.
There's nothing else you should be doing around this time.
Noon on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean,
Be there.
forget the Texas-Michigan game.
No, you don't
I
need
want
to see
some
that.
Camel action.
You want
Hoping
to
get over the hump here. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah. So I mean, that's this week.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
pretty excited about it.
I think I'm taking Tennessee over that NC State though. After you just convinced me on West Carolina.
Yeah.
Tennessee State also is freshman quarterback Ian Maleva,
Yep.
300, 3 tuds. Tennessee just put a shellacking on Chattanooga,
yeah.
69-3.
So if you had to pick, that's what you're gonna do. Are you betting this officially, or is this?
Ooh.
This is not an official
This
one.
is not an official
All
one
right.
yet. I'm gonna wait to kind of see where this line goes.
The
7.5 currently.
7.5. Yeah.
I have 7.5 for Tennessee. Obviously, you want that number to get to 7. It's way better. But
I mean,
I don't think it's gonna matter.
that's not something I want a piece of, probably.
I'm not
not
a fan
yet.
of the Wolf
Not
Pack
yet.
anymore. I'm
No.
out. I'm out on the Wolf Pack. Overreactions on week 1. It's
I don't
fine.
know. Catamounts might just be that good. We'll see how they do
They might
against the
be.
Fighting Camels, but against B&B. But
Be the camel that broke the back.
yeah. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about the some of these star performances.
Dude, there were a lot of them this week. There
A
were some
17-year-old from
ballers.
Alabama just 2 tutties,
This
and
kid,
like
he's a
deep
kid,
17.
dude.
I was like, is this possible?
Oh man, it was phenomenal. Got a receiver out of Arizona,
Yeah, we got
putting Julio Jones numbers out there,
let me look up this guy's Tateroa.
dude. That
Tateroa
300.
McMillan. What a name.
300.
That's a great name.
It's a phenomenal name.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Once again, I was not watching the game, so I don't actually know how to pronounce it. But Tateroa is
Yeah,
quite possibly the next Justin Jefferson.
yeah. And
Yeah,
I mean,
he's more of a Mike Evans, I would say.
and then
6'5".
Ashton Gente, we already talked about
Yeah.
for Boise State. 6 tutties on
Yep.
20 carries.
I mean, a couple of just electric performances.
We
this
got
week.
a great Jackson Dart performance.
Yep.
First half,
Throwing a few darts.
418 yards, 6 total touchdowns. I mean,
He's liking it for his Heisman pick.
granted, they played Furman. You know, they had already 52 at halftime, so they called off the dogs. They only won 76-0, so they pulled up. Ole Miss looks great, you know.
Those,
Might as well give them the title right now.
Furman Vermin.
The Furman Vermin.
I don't think
the other
that's what
game
they
that
are.
we didn't really touch on, but like was a really, really good game was Penn State, West Virginia.
Yeah.
We thought
We
that was
thought
gonna
that was
be
going to be a
closer.
bigger game. It was not.
No, Penn State looked
Blew 'em out.
phenomenal.
Could be a big year for Penn State. It's about damn time for them. They've been trying to put it together for the last 8 years, it feels like.
Yeah, that game was really in hand pretty early. Penn State dominated. There's that long weather delay, so you had to wait like a couple hours for the
Tsunami?
weather. It was a tsunami, I
Oh,
think.
yeah.
I'm not an official
Big wave
weatherman, but
coming through.
yeah, big wave. They ended up winning 34-12. Covered easily. That line ended up at like 7.5, I think was what it closed at Saturday. So you could have taken it at 8.5. It didn't matter. So I think that's a big win for Penn State. I think it gets their season off to a start and kind of solidifies like they should be up there.
Yeah.
What about your boy Ollie Gordon? How'd Ollie Gordon do?
Ooh, he's cooking.
Ooh.
He's cooking already. He's looking like a prime Heisman candidate as predicted. I'm looking for a little bit more of that this week as well. I didn't get to actually see it,
Oh, you didn't see the 104 and the 2 touchdowns?
but I did see the stats and I saw how the game turned out. And
Yeah, I mean, that was supposed to be South Dakota State's like one of the good FCS teams. That's not like a cakewalk win, but Oklahoma State took care of business. So that was one of those games where they're like, oh, this could be a trap spot or something or this or that. And it wasn't. Bowman for
No.
Oklahoma State, 3 touchdowns, 260 on the air. Ollie Gordon was Ollie Gordon. He looked phenomenal. He's electric. He's fast.
I like to see the running back Heisman win. That's what I like to see. Is it going to happen? Probably, because he's the best player in college football. Actually, I don't know if that's true. What's his rating on NCAA?
He is the highest rated running back.
There you go, folks.
Highest rated players.
Like a corner.
The corner for Michigan. I think it's Howard.
Yeah. But he's probably
who
like
did have like a pick 6 this week. So
yeah, that's true.
it's pretty on brand.
So who's second then? Is it Ollie Gordon?
I think so.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. The other thing was nice to see out of like 15-year returning quarterback Cam Rising, 5 touchdowns, 250 yards.
I said that last week. Cam Rising's the real deal.
He's not actually the like person who I think's been in college the longest.
Who?
The tight end for Miami. Did you
Yeah?
see this?
No.
The guy that caught the first touchdown. This is year 9.
How?
I shit you not.
Is that
it's year
real?
9.
Is
yes.
that real?
It is really year 9. He has been injured for like 4 years.
How old is this guy?
He's like 27. He's like a grown man.
He's like our age.
He can run his own car.
Wow.
So yeah, he's in year 9. I wonder if he stays one more year, if he gets like full pension, like the
I think
NFL
so.
players, if you play 10 years of service.
Yeah.
Is that what happens
I
in
think
college?
So. You can just retire. I think he's just going to retire in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have many years left of his career. So little fun fact there. Anything else that you saw that stuck out?
I didn't see anything. So any highlights I saw the post.
Did you see the one-handed interception?
I did. I saw the one-hand interception for USC. It was kind of painful.
Yeah.
Well, not interception, but catch.
Yeah.
Which one-handed interception are you talking about? Oh,
was-
I did see one. I'm trying to think of what it was though.
Yeah. It was in one of the later games.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
Yeah. I saw the post-game interview from Brian Kelly.
That was electric.
I saw about 2 minutes of the game when it was tied, and I think somebody just blatantly gave up an easy pass down the field for like 15 yards, and they like acted like, oh, it doesn't matter because we're still going to win, even though they weren't even leading. It was tied, and I was like, what?
That's the Bayou Bengals, though, baby.
It's
worst week 1 team in the history.
0-3 the last 3 seasons.
It is a trend now.
It is, and
I'll tell you though, these teams do know the spreads. You want to know why? Mizzou kicking the field goal at the end. It was like a 50.5-point spread.
51-0.
They kicked the field goal.
They knew.
Yeah, they dominated Murray State, which is not surprising. But
I mean,
Brady Cook looked good, but there were some passes that he missed. They could have ran the score up higher.
I think Brady Cook's good, but I don't think he's like quarterback. He's not an NFL quarterback.
I mean, yeah, 19 of 30 is like fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like against Murray State, you should probably be completing more than 67%.
But I mean, it's still 51-0. You can't.
Nah, that'll do. That's the number 11 team. So
yeah, so that's week 2 in the books.
It was good.
Week one in the books. We're headed into week 2.
Yeah, you know.
I don't even know what day it is, guys.
Technicalities.
I'm losing. I'm about to pass out. But yeah, I mean, it was a good week.
Yeah.
3-2. We're positive still.
Still a solid buffet.
Yeah.
I think this week's gonna be looking up.
Yeah.
I do. I think this is the one.
This is where we
go 5-0. 5-star restaurant.
I was about to ask if he was. Oh, we going Michelin? We going Michelin on this one? Wow. He's cooking up this week, guys. We got some new graphics for you, and he thinks it's gonna capitalize.
Dude,
on it.
Also, when you look at the numbers, we as a show have like increased like 50% our subscribers.
Wow. You see that, guys?
50%. There aren't many shows out there doing those type of numbers.
I mean,
those metrics are through the roof.
That's impressive numbers.
Like growing 50% over 1 week.
Like week to week, we're growing 50%.
That's crazy. We couldn't do that without you guys.
I mean, I haven't seen ESPN do those kind of numbers.
No, I mean, we're going to be trending really soon.
Yeah.
So, tell your friends, tell your family. Tell your coworkers.
If you happen to know any pro athletes or anything you want to bring on the show, just send them our way.
Tell your loved ones. Tell your side chicks. I don't really care.
If you just want to send us money on Venmo, anything to support the show that you can.
Yeah,
we want to upgrade the equipment. We want to actually be able to do this more often. Do it full time eventually.
Yeah, you guys will have a NFL one coming out this same day.
Yeah.
On Labor Day, we're out here
ready
recording.
For this? Yeah, you guys ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
I mean, you guys didn't ask for another sports show.
But you got one.